Hey Clawhammer Banjo players, here's a cool way to add some rhythmic excitement to boring empty spaces in your music. Virtually any tune or song is going to have at least a bit of this kind of space. Periods of time where you're sort of idling, typically on open strings, waiting for the melody to kick back in. In old-time tunes, this often happens at the ends of parts, as you prepare to repeat the part you just played or transition into the next part, but it can also happen within a given part. In singing songs, this space often occurs at the ends of individual lines of lyrics while the singer is catching their breath to prepare for the next line, or simply pausing to give the lyrics a moment to sink in. In the open G tuning, many of us would just hang out on open strings during these spaces, probably playing a simple brush sequence like this one. 3, brush 5, 3, brush 5, etc., for however long the space lasts. In this sequence, string 3 is a quarter note, while the next two elements, brush and 5, are both eighth notes. So 3, brush 5, quarter, eighth, eighth. The maneuver we're going to add will split that initial quarter note into two eighth notes, so creating more rhythmic density and drive. And we'll bring in a new pitch as well. It's often referred to as the alternate string pull-off, and it can be used in many ways, but using it as a rhythmic space filler is a great place to start. Let's try that sequence again in really slow motion this time, striking 3. Now, using any free finger of your fretting hand anywhere along the string, pluck or pull off from 1. So I've struck string 3, I've plucked or pulled off from string 1, and that's the element that's new. Notice that we aren't first playing a fretted note on that first string. All the pull-off is doing is sounding the open string, which is why location and fingering don't matter. I'm getting the same pitch anywhere along the string that I pull it with any finger. So strike 3, pluck 1, wherever you like, with whichever finger you like. Now finish the sequence as usual with brush and 5. So here it is with all 4 sounds in place, all equal in rhythmic value. 3, pluck 1, brush, and 5. Again. 3, 1, brush, 5, 3, 1, brush, 5. It might take time to coordinate your two hands and to not be tempted to strike the first string on the initial beat, since we're so used to striking whichever string we're getting ready to pull off from. But you'll get it if you start slowly and then gradually build speed. When it gets going pretty fast, I think it sounds kind of like a train. So that's the basic rhythmic space filler in the open G tuning. Let's try the same sort of lick in double C tuning. It's a little different here because this tuning's open strings don't quite make a full chord. You have to add the second fret of the first string to turn that into a C major chord. Your typical idling sequence in double C would be either this, 2, brush 5, 2, brush 5, or this, 4, brush 5, 4, brush 5. To either of those sequences, we can add the alternate string pull-off to make more rhythm. The only trick is that we're now following that pull-off with a return to the fretted note in time to brush the complete chord. Given this, it probably makes sense to do the alternate string pull-off with the same finger that you'll then use for the fretted note, which for me is normally index in this spot, second fret of the first string, and to do the pull-off around the same spot where you'll be fretting rather than higher or lower on the same string. Here's what it sounds like with all 4 elements in place, starting on the second string. So it's 2, pluck 1, land back in time for brush, and then 5, but all of them are equal in rhythmic value if I'm really playing. 2, pluck 1, brush 5, 2, pluck 1, brush 5. Here's the same thing, but starting on string 4. There are ways to adapt this idea to other chords too. I've just covered the one chord in both of these tunings, since that's the easiest to deal with and the most frequently occurring. Experiment with these in any empty spaces in your music orienting around the one chord that need more excitement. Let's see if you can pick it up.